call regular board meetings come to order, amended February 26, 2019. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Here. Trustee Brooks.
He will be out in training, so he will return to the next board session.
Trustee McMullen. Present. Trustee Payne. Here. Trustee Brown. And Mayor Covington.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. Swear. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Your motion to approve the board for the minutes for January 15th.
Yes, ma'am.
And 25, I'm sorry. Can we do them all? Can we do them all together? Trustee Jones?
Yes, please.
January 25th and January, just January 15th and 25.
Yes,
Those two.
Yeah, three.
I think I had a motion by Milton Payne.
Second.
Second by Mr. Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none. Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Abstain.
Trustee Wilson.
Abstain.
Trustee McMullen.
Present. Yay.
Trustee Payne.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Votes aye.
Motion's approved.
Thank you. General public.
We have one. Jeffrey Stroud.
Deborah Stroud.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, President Gilling. How's everyone this evening?
Good.
Everyone. How's everyone?
Well, wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to mention, in light of having seen the Oscars, I noticed that there were so many Afro-Americans that were acknowledged. Being February, we only have 28 days out of 365 days to be acknowledged as Afro-Americans. And I'm trying to figure out why there was nothing in this community for Black History Month. I don't know exactly which committee would have done anything to recognize. So can I possibly get any kind of answer on this?
Yes, I can start with one. Seeing that before, I didn't have a cooperative board, unfortunately, and what they did, they dissolved the committees, and that was a really disheartening thing for us to do. And we just restored the Human Service Special Events Committee, which normally did that, and they did all the special events, which I have done for many years. We had Black History Month and that. They're having something tonight at Governor State, which is a conflict with our meeting tonight. We would have invited them, but because they didn't have ample time to do a good program, they will be doing it next year. Human Service Special Events, they did have it on their calendar, and I'll let the liaison speak to that. But that's because we did not have one. They took it away. We just restored them since this new board has been up here and getting these committees back together and getting the volunteers. So that's the reason why they wanted to put on a better show. They had plans to do it, but they wanted to do it in ample time. Now I'll turn that over to, you want to say? I'm sorry. But they do have a calendar schedule that they just put out for the entire year for next year and the rest of this year. Trustee McMullen.
Ms. Stroud, if you notice on Comcast, we have a very fine presentation that was put on by the director of the cable station, Lisa Davis. She put on a fine example of African Americans in their whole process in Black History Month. It was fine. It was a fine show.
Okay, I think Trustee Brooks is had mentioned something about that at a board meeting.
You should check it
Back
out,
to,
it's really nice.
I don't have Comcast. I'm sorry. But I know Trustee Brooks had mentioned something about Martin Luther King program
It's a
back
fine
in
program.
January. But I don't have Comcast, so I apologize.
Sorry.
You are, party tell you about Martin Luther King, but unfortunately, because of the weather, it was canceled. And
Okay.
Governor said we do that partnership all the time.
Oh,
So,
okay.
We've done that for years. Oh, with Martin Luther King. This, as a matter of fact, one of our library people, Miss Sherlock Jones, always come and invite us, the board, and I participate in it. And First Baptist is participating as well. So we've always had a program going.
You're referring to the 100-man organization?
No,
that
the
we
Black
put that
History,
on?
no, they had one too as well, but they always, Ms. Sherlock Jones, worked on the Black History Committee years ago, for years, and they always come here and invite the village to participate in it. We always put on the marquee, and we put every year, the last 2 years, they've had it. They have a collaborative thing with Governor State's organization, and they put it on every year.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, may I ask, when it comes to, and again, listening to what you've always said about residents volunteering for committees and commissions, how long does it take, once an application is turned in, how long would it take before that applicant hears any results about being approved to be on that board?
Well, we just started getting a lot of them, and I let them know right away normally if there's an opening. It's not an opening. But we're putting that together as well, because all that's a new procedure. As a matter of fact, this is one of our applications that we used, which is obsolete, and I really don't agree with it, because it doesn't really cover the village as far as liability according to what committee or commission they get on. So we revised that. So I'll be putting out a new application for them, everyone that's on the committee to respond. And I will be getting back to your application. I'll be giving you a response, but that's the last one. That's the latest one that we received. Normally, we contact the person. I interview according to what committee they're on. I don't interview anyone unless there are commissions. The committees, I submit it to the people that's there, and they join, they come. Most of the time, people attend them, which I know you have attended our police commission meeting. But they usually just join, come in, and the president brings them on, and they tell me to put it on the agenda. That's what I do.
Okay.
But with commissions, that's state statute. That's a little bit different. That's handled a little different.
Okay.
So I will be getting back a response from you.
Has that form been revised since February 13th?
Yes, it has, but we have to have it approved by the board. I
Okay.
just discovered that.
And since, and I didn't know I would see Chairman Young from Police and Fire Commission, but now I can say thank you to her for even inviting me to get on the committee. So, thank you very much for your responses.
Commissions, no problem. Commissions and committees are a little different for the ordinance sake. Commissions are state statute, which is, we only have 2 commissions in the village, which is police and fire and planning. And they are mandated by the state and regulated by the state. And seeing that there are no other sign-in comments, we'll move on with the agenda. F, action items, none. Unfinished business, none. New business, FA2, first, second, and third reading and ordinance of the Village of University Park, Cook County, Illinois, amending TIF 5 tax increment financing redevelopment project area by removing property therefrom. Their motion. So moved by trustee Milton, second by trustee McMullen. And we already had our CAL, which is the committee of the whole questions in that, so we put on the agenda. But still, I have to open it up if you had any other questions. Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Abstain.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's approved. Ordinance is 2019-03.
Okay, thank you. F2B, first, second, and third reading an ordinance of the Village of University Park, Wilmington County, Illinois, adopting TIF 7 Stager Road and Central Avenue Tax Increment Finance and Redevelopment Plan and Project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by Paul Wilson. She's got the hand on. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
That's approved, Madam Mayor, and that's ordinance O 2019-04.
Thank you. F2C, first, second, and third reading an ordinance of the Village of University Park, Wilmington County, Illinois, designating the TIF 7 Stager Road and Central Avenue redevelopment project area, a redevelopment project area pursuant to the Tax Increment Allocations Redevelopment Act. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Wilson. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Both sides.
Madam Mayor, that's approved, and it's ordinance O 2019-05.
Thank you. F2D, first, second, and third reading, an ordinance of the Village of University Park, Wilmington County, Illinois, adopting the tax increment allocation financing for the TIF 7 Stager Road and Central Avenue redevelopment project area. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee McMullen,
Second.
second by trustee Wilson. Comments, concerns, questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Both sides.
That's approved, and it's ordinance O 2019-06.
Thank you. F2E, first, second, and third reading an ordinance of the Village of University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, authorizing the execution of a lease and commercial property by and between the Village of University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, and PK's Christian Learning Site, Inc., from Town Center Unit 82. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee McMullen,
Second.
second by trustee Wilson. Comments, concerns? The changes were made in here from $250 to change to uniform? Okay. Roll call, please. Yeah, I'm sorry, question.
I don't understand. What do you mean, by the change?
Okay, at the cow, and for others that are here for the first time, that are just wondering why we're going through these so swiftly, we have a cow, which is a committee of the whole meeting. That's the second Tuesday of the month. That's our first board meeting. We go through these ordinances, and it's open for questions from the audience and from the board to get clarifications, understandings, and anything else that we need legal advice on it. And at that point, we agree what to put on the agenda because it's been discussed thoroughly. But trustee Williams was not present, so we'll explain it to her. I'm sorry, your attorney will do it. Okay.
Trustee Williams, there are two changes to the lease that have been presented in the past year. The first is in paragraph 1 of the lease. The prior lease had a $200 per day penalty, $250 per day late fee if they didn't pay the rent on the 50th month. That's been reduced to $25 a day. And then
Because it's uniform with the rest of the towns.
So they were right.
Way over, yeah.
And the only other change is that unless otherwise agreed upon or if it's an emergency situation, the village will provide a 24-hour written notice of intent to enter into the unit. Previously, it indicated that the village could enter the unit essentially at any time or anywhere at any time without providing written notice. They wanted some assurances, and this is the daycare facility, that they have no, unless it's an emergency or it's otherwise agreed, as long as it's going to come into work at a certain time, that they be provided a written notice before village employees enter.
And she also explained to me because they have an agreement with BCSF that no one could just come in there at 24 hours, they have to let them know, right? I'm sorry. That we shouldn't just allow, because of the DCSF agreement, that our children involved, no one should have 24-hour access in there. If they want to come in there, it's no problem, but just give them a number so they'll let everybody know. Because they don't want someone coming in there and they might get a check. DCSF coming, well, who are these people? Who are they coming in? Just for safety caution. They should let them know. No problem, let them enter it, but a reason. That's all. Yeah.
But those are the two.
That's it.
Okay, I can agree with what you just said, you know, but I don't understand why that should be changed with the penalty for the payment. Why are we giving them special?
No, it's not special.
It's not special.
That was, well, you just, okay.
Well, it was $200 or $250 per day penalty.
No one else has that.
So if they didn't pay the rent by the 5th day of the month, every day after, in addition to the rent, it was going to be an extra $250 every day. They did not find that acceptable. The board discussed it at the last meeting. And as well as I think they're going to look at all the contracts to make sure they're uniform, so that it's not $200 or $250 per day penalty. But that was determined to be excessive.
Okay.
And everybody else here is just $25 also.
Yeah, they had, did you do that?
Everybody else that's in the town
Right,
center.
nobody pays $250.
That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
everybody's gonna be paying $25.
Is that,
I'd have to go back, sure, and go back and look at every lease to make sure.
because they had, what was wrong with the leases? They weren't,
So initially, all the leases are uniform, and so upon rental of each unit rental person was allowed to have their attorney review the agreements and make recommended changes. So initially, the template for the standardized leases had $250 per day penalty, as well as a clause where the village can enter the unit at any time. Because PK's Christians' nature of business, they felt they needed 24 hours notice, which is reasonable to enter their unit, as well as the fee of $250 a day was excessive, so they wanted to negotiate down to a lower level that's more standard.
all right. Thank you. Any others? Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams,
Abstain.
trustee Wilson,
Roll Tide.
trustee McMullen,
Vote aye.
trustee Payton,
Aye.
and Mayor Covington.
Vote aye.
Madam Mayor, that's approved, and it's ordinance O 2019-07.
Thank you. F2F, first, second, and third reading, an ordinance authorizing the sale of disposable of the surplus cable station equipment owned by the Village of University Park, Cook County. Is there a motion? So moved by trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by Milton Payton. Yes. Questions, concerns, comments? Roll call, please. Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize the packet changed, so I didn't print this out. We discussed about saying destroy all items. Is that in the new packet?
Yes. I'll talk loud. The change in the ordinance, I thought the title was changed as well, but the change within the body of the ordinance took out any language in regards to the sale of the surplus equipment, and it directs the village manager to dispose.
Okay.
Okay.
Body of the ordinance, should buy.
On the written procedure, on the written ordinance, is the title changed too?
The title didn't change, but the direction within the ordinance doesn't talk about sale. It indicates that village managers authorized and directed to dispose of the surplus property.
Okay.
Prior to it said he could sell it without advertisement.
Who said disposal?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Did we ever get an estimate of what cost we would get from that? Or
This is
was it
resident,
just disposal of, I'm sorry, this T, this, I'm thinking about.
yeah, this is cable, this is not.
Right,
vehicles.
right.
Correct.
Okay, any others? Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Fine.
Madam Mayor, that's approved and it's ordinance code 2019-03.
Thank you. F2G, first, second, and third reading of an ordinance authorizing the sale and disposal of the surplus police and public works vehicles owned by the Village of University Park and Rural Park Building, Cook County, Illinois. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Williams. Questions?
Wilson.
Wilson, I'm sorry. Concerns? Hearing none. Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Exactly, Deputy T. Wilson, how much are we getting? Two of you, actually.
Approximately $10,000.
Okay, and that goes for public works as well? Thank you. That's 09, clerk, would you?
That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you all. F2H, a resolution of the Village of University Park abate the village sale of property tax related to the Industrial Drive and Joseph Port road improvement. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee McMullen, second. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Wilson. Questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah, I've got, well,
Yes, sir.
first of all, we never discussed.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
When did this get in all of the resolutions?
This was,
Yeah, this was not discussed in the
No.
committee of the whole,
H-I or J?
but I see there appears to be a time limit, am I correct in that? It's got to be correct.
That is correct, trustee Payton. This was, it was forwarded, it didn't make it on the original committee of the whole agenda, but then what happened was it was forwarded, but then the committee of the whole agenda got continued, but the agenda did not change. This resolution, if I may, Manager Payton, this resolution is in reference to the road improvements to Industrial Drive and Joseph Court. Back in the fall, this board passed a couple resolutions authorizing an engineering study to be done and authorizing an agreement with approximately 5 businesses that are located along these roadways. This work was completed maybe at the end of the year, very beginning of this year. The work on Industrial Drive, Joseph Court was completed. It was in deplorable condition, the roadways. Through the agreement, we would let the bid. Robinson Engineering did the engineering work. These companies fronted the cost to get the roadway repaired. The resolution before you today, we had to get all the numbers back to finalize them, because what will happen is the paperwork and resolution has to be certified by the clerk and filed with the Will County Clerk's Office. What this does is the prior agreements constituted that there would be an abatement of the property taxes paid by these companies over the course of a few years to reimburse them for the money that they paid for the project. This resolution is to approve that abatement against the aggregate amounts for which each of these companies actually paid for the roadway improvements. So it will be completed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem with it. The thing that I did not see, since these 4 companies, the abatement amounts of $281,516, is what's the aggregate amount going to be? How much, if this is an annual abatement of roughly $281,000, how long does it go? Is it
This
abatement?
is not an annual abatement. That's $281,000 in total, and it's over a 5-year time period.
Okay.
So it's not one lump sum of that dollar amount. It's spread over 5 years.
Okay, so was that the amount for the repairs?
Yes.
281,000?
Yes.
Okay. Is there something here that says over 5 years? Did I miss it?
that, I don't know if it's in this resolution. I know it's in the prior agreements. Part of it is if the company doesn't pay that amount in village's share of taxes, then it could not be, obviously, that amount could not be abated, but it would be abated up to the amount they pay within.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't have any problem with it, I just didn't see an end to it, you know, a final number, but if this is the final number,
That's the total amount, the 281,000.
That's the total amount, and it's a certification that I'm required to do every year
okay.
to the,
So if we divide this by 5, then it's 50-some thousand,
Correct.
57,000 a year roughly?
correct.
Okay.
But just to be clear, I believe the way it works is it's not split out over 5 years. The abatement could go up to 5 years.
Depending on how much taxes are actually paid by the counties.
Okay. Well, so should there be something that make sure that that's clear?
Yes, a reconciliation has to be done every year. So every year, prior to March 1st, the village has to do a reconciliation and has to go up to the clerk's office before they do another abatement. So basically, the village has to initiate this abatement every year. It's not money that automatically come out every year. The village has to initiate.
Okay, question. Do we have a tickle date system set up somehow to make sure that that's not overlooked or missed?
Based on the agreement there and
Well, no, on our end, to make sure that this reconciliation is done
Yeah.
here, is that we follow up one, that we don't miss it and they don't miss it.
yes, ma'am.
So that way, nobody will be in obligation or debt or any lawsuits or anything saying we skipped the date.
Mm.
And that is effective March of each year, March what?
March 1.
Okay,
That's why we have to pass the ordinance
okay.
for first reconciliation.
And then what, another thing that the yearly breakdown, should that, I would like to see that too as well. When you said you're gonna include that later date, I'd like to make sure we get that.
No problem.
And I'll make a note of myself to make sure that the board gets a copy of that. So we'll all be on the same page. Okay? I'm sure.
So if this is due on March 1st, a couple of days from now, will the resolution be filled in because it shows remaining abatement to be determined, and then the PIN numbers, and again, to be determined dollar amount?
Correct.
So when will we find out the final dollar amount?
So,
It's right here.
281,000.
Yeah, it's the aggregate abatement amount for each company. It's an chart.
Yep.
This is how much it is.
So that's not how much we're paying, right? Because the next column
But the village isn't cutting a check. What it would be there'd be an abatement under property taxes. It's going to depend, remaining abatement would be the full amount. Because nothing's been abated
So why does it say
to be determined.
if we know what it is, why is it to be determined?
That this is the form that's used for the resolution. It's got to be then filled in and executed. I believe the numbers would be, it's the full amount because at this point in time,
That's the date, March 1st. You have to make sure.
well, for March 1st, that's when it's got to be filed with the Bill County Clerk.
Right, and those bill, the numbers will be filled at that time. We have represented engineers in the audience. If they could come and speak to that, bring clarification. Mr. Robert. Let the microphones.
I think that the reference to be determined is for 2019 or the 2018 tax year.
Good evening, Madam Mayor,
Good
and
evening.
to the Board of Trustees,
Yes.
department heads, and audience. We worked on this project late last year. It was actually a very successful project. For the first time, we did a public-private partnership. Industrial Drive in Josephport was in very bad shape. We were rushing against the clock because of the winter time that was coming. And we were able to do a ribbon cutting, and it actually went very well. I believe in the calculations that we used, the percentage of the cost for design, construction, and construction engineering was paid for based on the percentage of the 5 businesses that fronted Industrial Drive in Josephport. It was a certain percentage breakdown. So that's how, and it was great because they had some skin in the game, if you will, as far as the trucks using the roads. And so it actually was a very successful project, and the breakdown, each of those businesses paid a portion of the cost for everything. So it actually helped the village out, and they got a brand new road out of it. And so, as mentioned before, the tax abatement portion, we actually came in slightly under budget. So that final number that was quoted is going to be divided among the 5 businesses. And so, in return, they get a tax abatement, a break on their taxes, I guess, going forward for the next 5 years or however it breaks down. But we gave the breakdown based on our final engineering costs and final construction costs.
And the best part of it was they came and approached us, and it was really, really bad. The road was terrible. We could not afford to do it, and that was the best negotiation we could get. And the 5 companies from Industrial Park agreed to do it. Only thing they said was Public Works made sure they keep it clean, but the roads were deplorable, which was losses almost about half as well because of the road condition of it. It was really, really bad.
And I think also, I'm sorry, Mayor, I think also just to add to that, obviously that industrial area, you definitely want to keep the businesses there. Same thing with the Parkway. Those type of projects are very, very important because you have so much truck traffic. And in initial conversations, our original thought was, hey, they use the road, they should pay a percentage of that. And it actually is a benefit for everyone once it's done. And hopefully it can be resigned to restrict, so much truck traffic coming through there. And actually it worked out very well. Like I said, we were under budget for the project, and it was a good public-private partnership that we worked out. So that's all I have to
So
say.
Leslie can appreciate that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, yes, sir.
Are Robinson's
Thank you.
fees included in there? Because I noticed you're on the bills payable for about 90,000 today. So is that?
That was separate. Well, that was separate. So the village did not pay for any of the design, construction, or construction engineering. That was paid for by the businesses, the 5 businesses that were there, the PIN numbers that are displayed there. So they paid our fees as well as the construction costs for that project.
Which was a wonderful, as he said, great deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for that.
If I could just make one more point, maybe this would help clear something up for Trustee Wilson. It says to be determined that it's an annual reconciliation. This is going to be the form that it's used going forward. So every year, the remaining abatement and the abatement amounts are going to change. If you look at this form, because right now there's been nothing abated. So remaining abatement would be the entire amount. But let's say Alro, let's say they pay 10,000 of those taxes next year, then that remaining abatement the following year would be 38,471, and then the abatement would be identified in that far column. But those numbers are going to change each year.
So for right now, it should be filled out the same as the aggregate?
Correct.
Correct. And so I was just, if we know that, I was just wondering why it wasn't filled out.
Maybe yeah, because this would be the reconciliation form going forward.
Oh, okay.
And the abatement's never going to change because that's the actual dollars.
Right.
The rest of it will change.
Know what it is. and that's-
Thank you. Any others?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
on the second page of the ordinance,
Yes.
in the section of therefore being resolved, it references city council and the city. Just some text there.
Time. It's a time.
I can take care of that.
She'll end. Any others? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
That's approved and into resolution R 2019-01.
Thank you very much. We're never going to have an agenda this long again. F2I, resolution of the Village University Park, Cook County, Illinois, adopting a complete streets and green infrastructure policy. And to explain that, that's the motion. I have a motion. Moved by Trustee McMullen. Second. Second by Trustee Payton. Any questions?
Yep. Yes, Mayor, this was not discussed in committee, the whole.
Yes.
Background.
Okay, I will have, what we did Friday before the debate that they had here, the village and I got together, the staff and I got together, we were putting together we're doing God, I can't think of it right now. What are we doing? Capital projects at that time. What that is, we're requesting money for each department, what we need, so we can put it together, which we came up with millions, which I'm sure Leslie has. But it was another part that we were eligible for that would give us more points and more money. But I'll let, I'm on the committee here, South Suburban Mayor Manager's Planning Committee, which handles a lot of our funds, and I'm happy to be a part of that committee for several years now. And she brought it to our attention that we left that out. And we want to be eligible for it, and the capital payments we're requesting is about to go before the governor. And we want to put that so we can be inclusive in that. But I'll let Leslie give you a little heads up on that. Leslie, could you go to the meeting? This is our chairperson of the South Suburban Mayor Manager's Planning Committee.
Hi. My name is Leslie Famester. I'm the transportation planner for South Suburban Mayors and Managers. If you're not familiar with us, we represent 43 municipalities in South Cook County and northeastern Will. And I am the transportation person, but we also do housing and economic development. Please don't ask me about those. I don't know the answers. I'm the transportation person. So I've written about 30 complete streets policies in my time. And basically what Complete Streets is a policy saying that when you go out and redo a roadway, that's when you want to accommodate all users. So you want to make it safer for drivers, you want to make sure that people of all ages and all abilities can be able to use the roadway to access any destination anywhere in your community. It also gives you bonus points, as Mayor Covington said, with a lot of grant applications that are out there. But when IDOT or Will County comes through and wants to redo your roadway, you get to have the say because you've written it in your policy. So they are not allowed to dictate what they want to do on their roadway because it's in your community. You get to tell them how you would like to see roadways work. So I know IDOT and Will County like to, move traffic through, and that is a great thing, but we don't always want people to just move through our communities. We want them to stop, we want them to stay, we want them to shop and just experience what you have here. So you get to say, again, and that's really what this policy is. I have a presentation if we want to go through it.
So I'll let you do that on my time.
Okay.
You will do that presentation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you. All right. Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payne.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
That's approved, and it's resolution or 2019-02.
Thank you. Resolution of the Village University Park, Cook County, authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to Qualified Management Agreement with Billy Casper Golf for the University Park Golf Course Conference Center. Is there a motion? Moved by Trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Wilson. Roll call.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. Questions, concerns?
Right. This proposed amendment to Billy Casper Golf Course, I'm just reading over the revised agreement. It still binds us to $25,000 minimum escrow. And we have not seen any budgets from Billy Casper, at least I haven't. And so, we need to see those financials before we can make a really informed decision, because this fiscal year, it's costing us $200,000 having to keep that slush fund replenished. Last year was $300,000, and it was supposed to, based on the original, even the deferred action from them, it was supposed to be break even this past year, and it wasn't. It still cost us $200,000. So I would make a motion until we get some information before we rush ahead with this, that we table this for right now until we get that budget and have a chance to examine that in relation to the modified agreement and see how it's going to impact us financially.
Okay. You know, we've been going through this since August, and Mr. Manager Pate, did you hear what Trustee Payton said?
It's a motion to table, Mayor. Point of
Yeah, but he
order.
wants to know.
It's not debatable.
No, I have a question. It's not debatable. Okay, roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
No.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes no.
Trustee Payne.
Aye.
Mayor Cunningham.
No.
Motion fails.
The question was, did you hear what Trustee Milton Payton said about Casper's numbers? Did you hear his comment on it? Would you repeat, please, Trustee Payton?
There were no numbers. I haven't seen any numbers. Yeah, but in looking at the proposed revised agreement, we're still on the hook for at least $25,000. Every time they run short, just like if we vote for the Crimson one, if they've got a similar thing in their agreement, we're still going to be on the hook. We're supposed to be off the hook because, this year again, $200,000, that's what, 3 police officers that we could have put on the streets here?
So, when Trustee Payton is speaking of minimum general fund balance that's required for the business. So if they don't, just say if Billy Casper has a bad month and they projected to bring in $100,000 of profit, that's $50,000 on top of what's supposed to be the general fund, and just say they didn't bring in that profit. And it's the village's responsibility to recoup their general fund and stay in operations. Similar thing would be for the Crimson contract, but I believe their general fund minimum balance is $15,000. So significantly different than Casper. Lower than Casper. But Casper still does have a general fund requirement, but it's not as high. If they answer the question in general.
So together, but together, they're 40,000. They may be split up. But Billy Casper has it all right now, it's 50,000. But if you take the two together under new contracts, it's 40,000, which is close to, which would be 480,000, almost $500,000 a year that we're going to be on the hook for.
That's if they don't make their monthly target. Like for example, we didn't pay. So if you look at the $50,000 per month projection, and you multiply 50 by 12, we did not. That's not the dollar amount that we've given Billy Casper this year. So that only pertains to if the business is failing to produce like profits. That's the only time that will come into play.
And at this point, we are losing because they are not doing the restaurant. We lose a lot of money. We lost.
Oh, I'm sorry. And if it makes anything significant, there is a clause in the contract, in the new food and beverage contract, that if the business does not make their budgetary goals, then that could be deemed a breach of contract, and they can be removed. So that is a part of the agreement as well. So there are safeguards in the agreement if they were to underperform. At the end of the day, that require a majority board approval for that to occur.
But we don't have a budget right now.
From Billy Casper.
Right.
No, Billy Casper, because we're currently in budget sessions with Billy Casper currently. Billy Casper's budget is tied in. Billy Casper's budget is tied in into the village's budget. The village just we're having a staff budget meeting on Thursday of this week. At that time, Billy Casper's numbers are going to be tied into the village's budget, because there's a line item on the village's budget that accounts for the money that the village has to expend out to the company if we have to do it.
Okay, but did not Billy Casper say that they don't need any more money because they made such a profit last year? Did they not
No,
say that?
they still lost money. They
Yeah,
lost
but in the previous, we lost a lot more than we lost.
That's correct.
So we're getting, and he did state when they first came here that he can't overturn it overnight because we were $1 million before.
That's
Now we're
right.
down to hundreds.
Right.
Okay, so I think that we're moving there, we're getting there. We're not
For
going down there
example,
overnight.
Crimson has 15 months to break even. So they have a 15-month time frame where they have to make a profit or they breach a contract. There's two causes. They have 15 months to break even, meaning they start making a profit. And there's another breach segment contract where if the village determines that they totally go well over a budget multiple months in a row, that the village has the authority to give them a 30-day notice to remove it.
But did we give that to Billy Casper?
Billy Casper says 30 days notice can be removed anytime. That's
Right.
in Billy Casper.
But they have not made a profit. They have not made a profit.
No.
But they're.
They stopped the bleeding.
Yeah, they stopped the bleeding, and that's where that's why this is so difficult right now. We're trying to stop the bleeding, we're trying to add more to bring some people in because Billy Casper does not do the restaurant part, which is a sad part, and that's why we lost a lot of money because of the restaurant part. Now, if we bring someone that can increase the restaurant part, then we can see and rebuild it. At what point are we going to stop saying no and try to make this place a profitable entity? And say that, okay, now we're going to bring somebody that can restore that restaurant part, bring attention, bring back our brunches, bring back the restaurant period, and then we can see better functions. But right now, there's no activities. There are a lot of events that can be made right now. We're losing money. The longer we do not allow someone to come in there and try to make something happen in the restaurant side, we're going to be in a deficit, and Billy Casper cannot accomplish that part. And that part, they go, yeah, they left us from $1 million to 700, but like they said, we cannot close it off $1 million right away. We can do that in time. So they didn't make a profit, and now we can't really hold them to the fire, make a profit that fast if they can't make a profit. We need to be fair with this, but however, they're in the budget, so we won't. Are you saying that we won't see, according to Trustee Milton's suggestions or comments, that we can't do we won't see their financials until the budget is done?
Mayor, the question that I guess I'm raising then is, why do we even have this slush fund in the contract? We contracted out for them to manage the golf course, produce a profit. The whole idea was for them to not only to break even, but to produce a profit, a part of which we would get. So what we're continuing to do is to subsidize the golf course, the restaurant, if we should elect to change. And, you know, I counseled a lot of businesses in my time because I was a counselor for the Service Corps retired executives over at Governor State and Prairie State College for 10 years. And when you start a business, you know you're not going to make money unless it's a rare business for about 3 years, probably. Okay? So we went through this with Billy Casper when we initially signed the lease. It looked good, but they lost a lot of money. And then they gave us a good reason why they didn't want to open when they opened, but they were made to open to get the golf course up and running. And then we found out that the golf course was in such bad shape, it cost them $150,000 just to get it up and running, and it didn't get started until after Labor Day, at which time the golf season was over. So they lost money, so they shifted that a year. You know, their whole business plan that we saw for a year. And so, as we're speaking right now, they were supposed to be breaking even. And they made a lot of changes in terms of being able to reach profitability or at least break even, but it still cost us this fiscal year $200,000. And that was with them deferring stuff until after the last fiscal year, into this fiscal year, so that they wouldn't, because we told them we just don't have the money to give you anymore. You know?
Well, they said they didn't really need.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Mayor, but that's what they say.
Yeah.
What actually happens is a whole different ballgame. So what I'm saying is that if you're confident, and you've done this before, let's take that out of there. There won't be any more subsidy for you to work off of.
Okay.
It's sink or swim.
Right. Yeah. I agree. So that's really Casper. And it was, but unfortunately, unfortunately, which nobody revealed it, the golf course was and Trustee Milton Payne knows that well, it was abused, it was misused, it was overrated, and we really shouldn't have gotten into that, but we did. So what do we do to fix it? We're trying to fix it right now. So it was in the drawer, it was not well kept, nobody kept their eyes on it, nobody said anything about it until, well, I know when I came here, I changed a lot of things up there that was abusive. So, and a lot of money was going out the door, nobody was watching it. That's what's happened to a lot of things in the village. That's why it's been a rough road for me, and it's been hard, but I've gotten it up to par. It's been a big improvement, and we're not gonna fix everything overnight. It's not gonna happen, but we're trying to make it happen. So I agree we should take these slush funds out. I thought Casper, everybody admires our golf course. We get all type of compliments about this golf course. It's up and booming. His first outing, they said they were booked for the whole first year for the golf outings. 200 and some people were there almost every weekend. We didn't have that. And it was an eyesore at one point. And people were very, very happy to see it come back to life. And I'm proud to say, being African-American people, to have our own golf course is great. But we need to watch where we're spending our dollars while we're doing on everything. This board is changing all policies to make sure these things that happened in the past will not happen again. It's hard and it's rough, and some people are bitter about it, but we gotta be tough love here, and that's what we're doing.
Mayor, we also need to keep in mind that the air conditioning system needs to be replaced over there.
Right, we did
We're
discuss
talking
that.
about at least another probably $100,000 to fix all of that, right? So, yeah, because I mean,
Speak to that.
speaking of,
Speak to that. I'm
Yeah,
prepared, if at all. I know you do too. It's a movement.
Yeah, I always have to do, but
You've been around.
as far as the air conditioning unit, I would say roughly around maybe 50,000. It's been, what, 10 years, 12, 14 years since we had the golf course? Yeah, that's so. That's an improvement that you do need after a certain amount of time, just like in your house, when you have a furnace or air conditioning, you have to change about that.
I understand that. It's just that, 5-6 years ago, based on my calculations, now we're still paying the bond for the golf course. It's $500,000 a year. And then we put it on there that we were losing before Billy Casper took over about $700,000 a year.
I mean, almost.
No, I think it's closer to 700,000. I think it's 730 was the number, but it's all over $1 million. Who's paying for that? Me and you as taxpayers. I calculated with roughly 2,000 households in University Park. Every household was averaging about $500 a year. Most of which those households don't play golf. So which means that we were subsidizing the golf for other people to come here. And where I am is that we should be done with that by now. It's either going to make money, or as the manager said, we need to shut it down and move on.
Well, we're trying to make money. That's the purpose of them being here tonight.
I will just give my input on this. Billy Casper has attended running the food and beverage here for over 2 years. Obviously, has not been successful in the manner in which the village wanted to be successful. gentlemen have came to us with a proposal. We worked a very long time negotiating the contract. We put enough safeguards in the contract in which the village can release itself from the contract based on two main things: them not breaking even within 15 months, and the organization blowing the budget, meaning not meeting budgetary numbers and requiring cash infusion more often than needed. So there are no clauses in there that would cause the village can remove them and close the golf course. At this point, we're going to the springtime, so a decision needs to be made, not by me, the decision needs to be made by the board of what direction they want the golf course to go. Either close food and beverage and do golf only, keep food and beverage open, or close the entire golf course. But that's an individual decision the board members need to make.
Mayor, I wonder what Deer Creek does. They don't have a community that's subsidizing them, but they're managing to stay afloat somehow. So, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, as far as I'm concerned.
But, I can't speak to that. I wasn't the one initiated to buy it. So that was, those are the past people. So we were stuck with that. And excuse me, as far as the bond, how close are we to paying the bond?
2 years.
2 years, so the bond will be paid for. Thank God for that. I'm sorry.
So Trustee Payton, are you saying that you don't want to subsidize the new company coming on, but if we don't get them, we will continue to subsidize Billy Casper? I don't hear anything. If we don't subsidize them, then why would we continue to subsidize Billy Casper and they've not been successful? They have already told us they're not in the restaurant running business. This company, what's the name?
Let me correct you, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, sir.
I said everybody. That includes Billy Casper. Billy Casper's number is bigger than Crimson's number. Billy Casper's is 25,000. Crimson is 15, but you put the two together, that's 40,000. That's just where I am.
Oh, everybody's not believe.
And the last time when we had a meeting, if you recall, with Crimson, and I brought this issue up again, and they said, well, then they would take that out. They wouldn't need it. If I remember correctly.
I think that's what it's out of condition of it, too. And what they would have to
Well,
invest in it to. And
what was submitted to us tonight was operating, it wasn't capital.
I'm just trying to we're trying to make some sense of this. I understand, I hear what you're saying, I respect you, Trustee Mills, but at this point, we need I don't want the reputation to further be ruined. We used to have a great brunch, the churches used to come every Sunday from 2 to 4. People used to visit it on a regular basis. I used to visit it, we used to have very good services there, and it's gone down. Crimson is here to tell us what they have invested. I had a walkthrough Friday with them, and we saw the deplorable condition it was in, and it's a wonder nobody's done, well, they have done lawsuits up there, but the condition, everything is inoperable. The dishwasher is rusted out to no avail. And our public works have been really great in going up there, fixing things, repairing things at the cost of our cost, trying to make it durable or workable. And I just say, in what they were saying in their agreement, that they have a clause in there, if they're not working, they're gone. But they're willing to invest their own televisions, have Monday Night Football, things they really have. They're successful in their previous places as well. I've seen them all, and they're packed wall to wall. So it's no doubt that they would have a good service. I think they would bring a good crowd. I think they will rebirth the golf course as far as the restaurant part. Because I'm tired of everybody having to go out to University Park and get a hamburger like they had to go out to University Park and get an egg. We're trying to draw some type of economic community relations, some type of businesses, so one might draw the other. So if the golfers come up there, they all want to come and have something to eat. And if they don't have a kitchen that's functional, they'll stop even golfing. And the other Deer Creek is smaller, golf course, we're 9 hole, we're 18, what, 9 hole? Excuse me, 9 hole, 18 hole. 18 hole, they're 9 hole. I think, and like I said, Casper has made it beautiful, I have to take it back. And looking at some of the things that principals, their future foreseeing that golf course, they're gonna really lift it up. And I see what they've done in Olympia Field, Schaumburg, and Richmond Park. I think they can do that. But then we can also protection. If they do not produce, they can leave. So we won't be staying here. I mean, we won't see such a loss. I don't believe we see such a loss then, and then we can hold Casper accountable and make, like you say, take some of that out of there.
I have no doubt that Crimson can run the events side of the golf course a hell of a lot better than Billy Casper. I have no qualms about that. I mean, technically, what we're doing right now, if we're following procedure and doing things transparent, we should have had sent out an RFP for this to have other people to quote on managing this portion of it.
We did an RFP when we initially brought Casper into years ago.
When we bought Casper, we're making a change now. So I'm sure they want to get out from under it because it's a headache for them. So but I have no problem that we violated our procedure here, at least the spirit of it. I have no doubt that they're going to do a better job. My only position is that I just want to protect, in these last weeks that I got coming here, the village as much as we can, so that I'm not paying for other people's golf on and on here, like we have been since we bought the golf course and started to really find out how bad things were. Yeah, you used to go to those luncheons. That's when we was losing $700,000 a year. They were selling, a buffet for $9 where everybody else was charging $25.
That's right.
That's why they had to stop it. Mm-hmm. Even Billy Casper tried it for a while, and they couldn't make any money off of it.
Everyone, I appreciate my colleagues sitting next to me. I appreciate all his insight into the business aspect of this agreement here. But I think with all the time put in by the village manager and our attorneys and working out with Crimson, I think it's a doable situation, and I think we should move forward. I don't think we should wait any longer. I think as a village, we should take this to the next step and get them settled in and get them moving with our restaurant. Because I used to visit that restaurant so often, and right now it's in shambles. So I do believe with your expertise, it's going to be better. And what should we do right now? What can we do right now to make this thing happen? What can we do right now?
Well, we talked about modifying the agreements for both, not just Crimson, but for Billy Casper as well, to take out the slush fund.
So, Manager Pate, what can we do right now, Council? What can we do right now?
The first thing that would have to take place in the item that's currently on it, being discussed is the amendment to the Casper contract that obviously has to go first. If you don't approve the amendment to the Casper contract, next item on the agenda. The motion is to approve it as is. There could be a motion to amend to remove paragraph 4 of the First Amendment to the Qualified Bargaining Agreement, and that paragraph 4 is the minimum fund balance that Trustee Pete has been discussing. That could be a motion to amend it. I'll pass it. About that? Now that we would have to go to Casper. And then we. So. And then, just so you're aware, the board could pass it that way. Now, whether or not Casper, I don't think anybody from Casper's here tonight. We'd have to go back. This is the amendment that we negotiated. See if they would agree to what the board actually proposed and agreed to. If they would not agree to the contract as amended, then we still would have the amendment.
Trustee Wilson?
Attorney, are you confident that the contract before us is safeguarding the village as Manager Page stated? He stated there's several different clauses in there. If they don't perform in such amount of time, then it relieves the village of their
There is a provision, which I don't believe was in Billy Casper's contract, whereas they have to at break even, I believe, 15 months. And if they do not break even within 15 months, then the village it would have to be by the village board. They can send them notice to terminate the contract.
So that's been implemented in Princeton, but it's not currently in Billy Casper's?
I believe that is correct.
Okay.
No, it is. What was your question again, Trustee Wilson?
Village Manager Pate stated there's several safeguards in the contract, and I was asking the village attorney if he agreed with those safeguards that would relieve the village of any of these liabilities.
Right, but the village in this next fiscal year, just a year, would be obligated, if they didn't make any money, for another $300,000. And then you add another 3 months to that, so that's another $75,000. So that's $375,000 that the village would still be obligated for, unless you take paragraph 4 out.
Right. If they lose money, if they don't make money.
I guarantee you
Correct.
they're gonna be losing money.
Well, we won't say that. We won't
No.
speak that.
Well, I've heard it before, at some point, there comes a point where you.
Well,
you have-
and at this point, we would need some type of help too, seeing that we have 2 more years for this.
Right.
We haven't seen a budget from Billy Casper,
I thought you did.
a multi-year budget. They're working on it, but we haven't seen it. We're gonna make a decision on something we haven't even seen?
Billy Casper is still in the process of working on the budget. They sent him last week about it. Should be finalized by next week.
But that's why I was saying repeatedly that they should be.
But you y'all have to remember, I'm just trying to.
Okay, I was saying that, that's why I said repeatedly, Billy Casper needs to be getting reports and questions, and they need to be here so that we can ask those questions and see why they're not up and running, and telling them, giving us statuses on what they should do like everyone else does. So anyway, go ahead.
Billy Casper cannot send the budget because they do not know what's going to happen tonight. They don't know.
No, period, though. They don't have any, like.
They don't know if they're budgeting for food and beverage and golf, or golf only. That's why we don't have a budget in front of us tonight in regards to Billy Casper.
Okay, so they have never submitted yearly. We do a budget every year. They've been here more than a
They
year.
submitted a yearly budget.
So in that budget,
Mayor, we should have discussed this in the committee of the whole and notified Billy Casper
I thought
that
that
they
was being
should
done.
be here, as well as the numbers that we should have had also for Crimson, because we asked for that when we had workshop or executive session. And just getting them just before the meeting today.
Well, I thought that was covered, but seeing it's not, so, we're gonna work. So what we need to do is have them to come here, come back, and here we're going again, procrastinating, I'm wasting time, but roll call that we will. Somebody can say that's a motion on the floor.
You want to table it?
To the committee of the whole.
Oh, we did that, we got to fail.
We got a motion, right, it failed.
Now, a motion to,
No, we did not have a motion to remove paragraph 4. That was
okay.
conversation.
Okay,
So
so,
the motion currently before, the motion to table did not pass.
right.
The motion before the board now, I think was made by Trustee McMullen, seconded by Trustee Wilson, was a motion to approve the resolution. That's what's currently in front of this board.
Okay, does someone amend that and want to go? Or just want to go on? Okay, then roll call.
Roll calls on the main motion.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
No, nay.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Nay.
Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Motion is approved, and it's resolution board 2019-03.
And I will want to have things from Casper here and get these things modified and changed.
I
Okay?
can't say it again, Mayor.
I would like those resolutions and its financials and take care of the modifications we need to do to make that happen. Okay? What modifications? I'll talk to you offline. F2, resolution of the Village University Park, Middleton County, Illinois, authorizing execution of a qualified management agreement with the Clemson Port Group for food beverage services at the Village University Park Golf Course and Golf Center. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Wilson, second. Second by Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Abstain.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Nay.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
That's approved, Madam Mayor. It's resolution R 2019-04.
Thank you. F21, resolution of condolences honoring Mr. William Brooks Jr. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Wilson, second by Trustee McMullen. This is one of our police fire commissioners that served for the village, and he passed away a couple weeks ago. And we have condolences to the family. And we would also ask, we're going to contact his wife and ask that she submit the badge, and we're going to mount it and present it to her. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams.
Vote aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's R 2019-05.
Thank you very much. F2, resolution of condolences honoring Mr. Darlene Pete Gordon. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Wilson, second by Trustee McMullen. Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Vote aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's approved. It's R 2019-06.
Thank you. F2N, motion to approve certification of the right to December 23rd, 2003, non-recourse revenue specific note submitted by Dark Container Corporation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Nickman. Second. Payton, second by McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Roll call. I'm sorry.
These two items were on the last agenda.
Yes, it was third.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No worries. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams.
Vote aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Madam Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's approved.
F2O, motion to approve a payment of Dark Containers Corporation in the amount of $5,829,310.50 pursuant to its December 23rd, 2003 non-recourse revenue specific none for the 2016 calendar year, 2015 tax year, and an amount of $2,886,425.25, and for the 17 calendar tax year in the amount of $2,942,885.25. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Milton Payton. Roll call. You have a question?
Now I do recall this. I know Treasurer Dilworth had some concerns and village manager Pate verified there was greater than 10 million in TIF 5 account. Were you able to get an exact number just so we can satisfy this?
I don't have an exact number.
Okay.
It has to be requested ahead of time.
Any other?
They are available.
Those funds are available.
It is available. Okay? Over 10 million in there. Okay. Any others? Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
And Mayor Cutter.
Aye.
That's approved.
Thank you. F2P, bills payable. Attached to your approval is a listing of the general operating expenses for the bills of the University Park that occurred on January 22nd, 2019 through February 26, 2019. General funds, $269,169.17. Road and Bridge Fund, $223.74. Town Center Funds, $4,452.47. Motor Fuel Tax Funds, $14,099.08. Payroll Funds, $4,688.94, totaling $292,633.40. Is there a motion? Bills payable?
So moved.
Paid and payable. Thank you, Trustee Milton Payton, second. Your second?
Second.
Second by Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah, I have a question,
Yes, sir.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
On the check number 103-304 for Robinson Engineering for $83,387.84. Is part of that, because it says it's for Cicero Avenue, is that part of a grant? I mean, are we getting reimbursed for part of that? I don't know.
Trustee Payton? I'm sorry.
Because I know you said we got a grant or something for.
Yeah, Cicero is,
Avenue.
that's 11, that's a separate project, that's $1.5 million that we're going to be granted in 2019.
So, Robinson, as far as Robinson Engineering is concerned, current payment you see for Robinson, all reimbursable funds from MFT and TIP accounts. So those are not being paid out of the general fund,
Could you speak clearly?
Those funds are not being, the check is being generated from the general fund. There are interfund transfers that will occur from TIF as well as MFT to cover that specific check.
And they're payables?
They're payable.
They're
Now-
reimbursable. I'm sorry,
They're
reimbursable.
reimbursable.
Okay, I want that clearly stated. Thank you. No, go ahead.
Now, the next bill's payable. There will be a bill placed with Robinson Engineers that will cover the actual cost that will be coming out of the general fund. So the first transaction you're seeing here are reimbursable funds that are being reimbursed through interfund transfers from TIFs as well as MFT. Next bills payable will be all general fund. We split the payments out so it can be, number one, provide a little bit easier time for the auditor to kind of trace the funds coming in and out and not doing the transaction at the same time.
And the reason I said clearly, so the audience can hear that, because so much is misled and they misunderstood. I want to make that clear. Thank you.
I have a question about the same check number. Trustee Payton, were you finished?
Yes.
Question, in the past, we used to show where the money is coming out of the TIF funds. It would say a TIF number and which TIF account on this summary. So we would know how much money is coming out of TIF funds. Because I also noted that for the attorneys, there's some TIF dollars on here too. Why wouldn't we have?
It's on, if you look at your bills payable paperwork, it's on the check register and it is separated by fund from the check register. So you look at the check register, you have the bills payable sheet, and then you have the check register that tells you which funds the specific monies are coming out of. There was a discussion that was had 2 months ago where Trustee Wilson requested us to stop doing resolutions for specific transfers out of the different fund accounts. And so we were told to simplify it by making sure that it is done on the check register and the proper transfers are accounted for.
Okay, so we have a summary page. It has general fund. I assume that's the money coming out of general funds. We have road and bridge, money coming out of road and bridge. If we have money coming out of TIF fund, why wouldn't it be on the summary page? We have, I don't see it on page 3. I see town center fund, I see motor fuel tax fund.
It's on the actual check, it's actually on the actual check fund register report.
Go ahead.
So
So if you look under GL, if you want to go look at the report, I'm looking at the GL numbers, general fund, town center, Midland Bank, motor fuel tax fund. Finance department, general obligations. It's broken down by fund.
So what's the purpose of the funds on the summary page? Road and bridge, town center fund, motor fuel tax fund, payroll fund. TIF funds is where we have in the past had problems, and we want to be transparent. So if we have all the other funds on here, why wouldn't we put the TIF fund? So it's clear that it's coming out of the TIF
I
fund.
understand that. It's clear based on the reporting in GLs. We did have a process, trustee, where we had resolutions that did this, and the board requested not for those resolutions not to continue. We can go back to that.
No, I want to, we have a summary of funds. Why is it the TIF fund?
I will speak to the finance department in regards to why it's make sure they know your exact specifications and how you want.
TIF funds. I would like to see the summary of TIF money. I'd like to see the summary of other money.
We have resolutions for TIF funds. I understand. Your point is
But
taken.
we're not doing that. We can talk.
No, your point is taken.
Anyone else have any questions? I have a question. On check number, it's really clear here. Check number 103308. That was that was something that the previous board brought over on me. And this guy, they changed out my attorney. And this check is for $7,500. I'd like a total, because it looks like we paid over $450,000 that they brought this attorney in here, and it looks like it's going to be close to $1 million for this attorney.
This is a repayment schedule.
Right, and how much more, what's the balance?
I would have to, I don't have that report in front of me, Mayor. I would have to.
I think this may be the final payment because we've been paying
No, it's not.
$10,000 a month.
Well, that was agreed. We've been paying this man.
So what
I
occurred?
had a problem with this.
So what occurred was, we were in a repayment schedule. When we changed managers back in May, that firm stopped receiving payments. The firm reached out to Clerk D. Jones, who in turn reached out to me because they had not been paid and they did not want to take any legal action against the village. The village agreed to go back into the payment plan as we were done in the past, and that's what we're doing. We're fulfilling the obligation that we have. I do have a letter. I don't have it printed out. I do have a letter with the as of last month of what we actually owe. I have no problem sending out to the board, it's just I don't have it in front of me right now.
It's not a real problem when they brought this guy in here and they just,
And you're gonna start seeing the
nobody pays
same
$1 million
thing.
for an attorney the size of this village.
You're gonna start seeing the same thing for Olds and Miss Sturgeon.
They brought them in too.
And a couple other attorneys as well.
They run it all. Okay. Anyway, so I'd like to see the balance on what we owe this.
Yes, ma'am.
This is just, no problem. Any others? Hearing none.
Hold on, sorry.
Sorry, sure.
Um,
Here you go.
IRH.
Yes.
I thought we had the final payment report. What is this?
So that's the final reconciled payment. So when RH was doing the engagement for 2016 and 2017, the auditor requested additional journal changes, modifications to some of the work that was done during the 2016 audit. The auditor, of course, as you know, they can't go in the system and make changes to GLs and various different dollar figures. So that additional amount is RH assisting the village in fulfilling the 2016 audit requirements, so the audit can be closed out. That's the final reconciled bill. And that is after, the bill was higher, and that's after multiple meetings with IRH, trying to have them substantiate their numbers, that actually work done, how to get the billing and everything. So this should be the final payment to IRH. We held on to this for at least 3 months because we kept going back and forth about what was owed and what was not owed. So based on that, me, myself, and Justicia kind of met this week and reconciled. That's the actual final dollar amount that's owed to them. They may come back and say they owe more money, but based on our recollection and our reconciliation of everything, this is all we owe.
Can the board receive whatever documentation you guys came up to determine that this is the final payment? So in the event, a year from now or 2 years from now, they come back and say we owe them money, we have
I can
documentation?
have Justicia get this up together, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, the request that we made, if I can get a couple of days.
Okay.
get this up together.
No worries, long time. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any others? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Okay.
Trustee Wilson.
Pass.
Trustee McMullen.
It's my fiscal responsibility to pay bills.
Trustee McMullen.
Pay the bill.
That's an
Aye.
Wait,
She said,
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
nay.
Mayor Covington.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Good to be back.
Roll time.
That's approved, Madam Mayor.
aye. Pass that one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. F2Q, thank you for waiting so long. Normally don't take this long. But motion to approve and appoint Mr. Michael Moore to the Board of Fire and Police Commission. Your motion.
So moved.
Move by Trustee
Second.
Payton, second by McMullen. Get them together. Roll call, please.
Madam Mayor, you did notice this is for partial.
Yes, all in favor?
Trustee Williams.
I'm sorry.
Why did we leave that down? Sorry. I didn't read it. Sorry. Would you read? Do you have that? Wait, here it is. It's at the bottom. I have it here. Right? Something there. Thank you. With the concurrence of the board, I will be appointing Mr. Michael Moore to the Board of Fire and Police Commission for a partial term to fill an unexpired term of Mr. William Hook's term will expire December 31st, 2019. I have to be appointed. Okay. Roll call.
Trustee Williams.
Both aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Yes, Mayor, I'm sorry. Votes aye. Welcome aboard. I'd like to say a little something about him. Everyone, I gave every trustee this gentleman's resume, and I'd like him to just say a few words as well.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees, department heads, as well as general public. I want to thank you for this opportunity to service the people of University Park. As you can see from my resume, I spent a lot of time in serving the public, and this is a continuation of it. It's something that I truly enjoy, and I'm sure that working with the other trustees, the other commissioners, that we will be able to make sure that the people of University Park are proud of what we do and happy with how we do it.
Thank you, that's very modest. We were looking at this 4-page resume from employment from firearms, transitional director in New Orleans, parish director in New Orleans, jail superintendent Champaign, Cook County, assistant director of campus police in King County, director in Green Valley, Las Vegas. Duties and responsibilities with AD 205, superintendent of Cook County Department of Corrections, Chicago, Division 6, responsible for all the positions and policies, go on divisions and responsibilities they have there. Chief of Operations, Cook County Department of Corrections, County Captain of Corrections in the Department of Chicago Corrections, the Lieutenant Captain, he started from the sergeant to go to the captain in that area of corrections. And trained specialist coordinators of city colleges and personnel relatives, representatives, and auditor of the American Correctional Association firearm instructor currently. So he came and met and we talked, and the things that he's doing, he already gave us great ideas on revenue generating for the Village University Park. Some things that I know our police department will be happy to hear and work collaboratively with him. And I'm just moved that he brings such expertise, and we need that. And I know they will appreciate that. So we will go and swear him in at this time. Board, please join me.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'm looking at your resume here, and I said we've had several connections here, and you didn't know it, and I didn't know it either. So, number one, the Mokina operation is top notch. That's a wonderful facility out there in Mokina. That's number one. Number two, my daughter graduated from Champaign, Urbana, so that connection right there. And I also worked at Cook County with the City Colleges of Chicago. I worked with the Cook County Correctional Center on 26th Street, right? I worked down there as a teacher. And I also got down here, how long was that stay at City Colleges?
I was at City Colleges a good 12 years there, on and off.
Okay, I spent
Because I was a training specialist, and then after that I became a supervisor.
And I spent 8 years over that, so we had connections and we didn't know it. So glad to have your board.
I plead guilty to following you because I knew you were successful. So I'm still following. That's why I came.
All right, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yes. That's all right.
Two of our questions. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Where am I going? You have to stand here. That's okay. Right. That's okay. All right. There.
No, we're not taking a picture.
Oh, I thought that's what you were doing.
We are going to take a picture after she's done.
Yeah. Come on, can you step back? Step back. Okay. Now, if you'll raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Michael Moore,
I, Michael Moore,
having been duly appointed to the office of Fire and Police Commissioner in the Village of University Park, counties of Will and Cook, Illinois, do solemnly swear that I will uphold and support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Fire and Police Commissioner according to the best of my ability. Congratulations. For you, Madam Chair,
You will see, okay, that we are right.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There you go. And you get your manual right now today. Right.
Reading material.
Yes.
Your bed and a bit of water.
Thank you so much.
I gave him that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's okay.
Oh, you want to take it? She wants to take it. Oh, she said that. Okay. Excuse me, she wants to take a group picture. Our trustee wants to take a group picture. No, she yeah, that's what she means. So she wants to take a picture with us. Let's take a background. Trustee Payton? Yes. You stand in the middle, you're the star of the night. Let's get some love here. Come on. Group in, get some love. A little tighter. Yeah. A little tighter. Okay.
It helps put film.
SD card.
Stop it, Milton.
Great. Last one. Thank you.
You know. That's it. All right. Reports. There's the end. Reports. Departments. I'll go around the room. Our wonderful public works.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Board of Trustees. At this time, I don't have any reports at this time. But,
You're being modest.
yes, I am.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I have a report for Public Works.
Okay. What?
I have a report for Public Works.
Oh, I do too. I think we all know. Go ahead.
So, I would like to say, it's been my honor and privilege to work with Terrell. I will tell you, over the last couple months, this village has operated seamlessly. Every time I call him Terrell to do something, he's there to do it. Every time the mayor needs a unit open, he gets there within 15 minutes to open the unit. I see the morale up in the shop. I see the equipment looking better. The guys are working prouder, they're working harder. I challenge board members to please go in the cable studio and look at the extensive improvements that have been made in the cable studio that we've been trying to do for over a year. Darrell's very modest and a very humbling individual. But I wanted to say that I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your service to the village, and I appreciate the continued effort that we're going to do in our partnership coming together in the spring and the summer. And thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you very much.
And I personally will say that it was unbelievable what you've done. Unbelievable. The streets were perfect, and all you did, I mean, I only treated them one time. Coffee was so cold, I felt so bad. And I said, come by my house and get some money, get some coffee. And he said, remember, he was freezing, but we appreciate everything that they did, everything. He goes every morning to each department to see if there's any needs. If I need anything in my office, if it's a cable station, I was there last night at a meeting. She was going over the checklist, and things that she's been asking for, just everything. She was really happy with a smart TV yesterday, showing off. And the painting that you did there, it looks like our old cable station, Milton. We used to be on a committee many years ago. We used to have and I reminisce with them and talk about, you know, when we used to sit at a table like this, Trustee Milton Payne used to charge us $1 if we were late. He said, that's roast chicken. Everybody started laughing, but it brought back good memories, and to see it being upgraded like that, it was just fabulous. And things you've done in my office, in the village hall, we had the disaster, you got that thing done in 3 hours. That was unbelievable, but we had to remain break. So, you know, and I thank you all too. I want to let everyone know, I thank them for all coming when Leslie was here to make our capital budget, because I can't stand when administration makes decisions and people do the job every day. So I invited all of them there, and we said, what do you need, what do you need? And we got millions of dollars in our capital bill there, and that's going to come to the board. I want them to be first, because they do the work, and we need to tell them, no, you tell us what to do. It's the other way around, and that makes a happy home. So I appreciate everybody that participated. Every department was there, fire, police, cable, everybody that any work was done. They told them how much money we wanted, and it's getting ready to go. The mayor's had a call the other night. We all talked about it, because people are courting us to do our capital bill for their own, I can't say, for their own reasons, but we're sticking with the South Suburban Mayor Manager Leslie to do our capital bill and those fundings we need. So again, thank you for taking that time out and doing that. But you're doing an awesome job. So you get employed. But you do. We love you so much for stepping up to the plate. Okay, next.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I'm sorry.
Trustee Gomez. I'd like to say to Reverend, you do a perfect job. You do it completely. That's what I really like about it. You can go over there, you can go, he didn't do this part, he didn't do that. None of that. You make sure it's done. It's done completely. I'm not going to say a lot because everybody been giving you, you know, congratulations. But you do a good job in the village. The streets look safe. Not only clean, they're safe. You put that salt down, that stuff melts. Yes. It's great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Trustee.
You're welcome. And to Debbie, I want to let you know, you have been doing a good job. I had complaints about the people parking on Burn Drive, parking on Sandra Drive, and I did call it in to the chief. I'm pretty sure the chief told you because the cars in that parking area is dangerous, especially at night. It's too narrow, and people try to get out, they open their door, almost get it. So you did a good job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Trustee.
Any other reports? Okay.
Yeah, I have a short report. I just wanted to report that the officers within the department have been trying to complete some of our additional training, mandated training. Several have completed a workshop and training that regarding mental health. It is that Chief Payton actually put on as a sponsor for that. Successfully completed that training. They're also going to be following up with some additional things regarding the mandates with the criminal sexual assaults and homicides and things like that that they have to keep up with. Also, I attended the violence prevention meeting that we had with the South Suburban chiefs
I believe it was sponsored. Well, actually, it was sponsored through Robin Kelly, through Congresswoman Kelly, in reference to that, but all of the South Suburban chiefs attended that, and we were discussing how, what we share in common as far as the influx in the crime, and it has been on the rise. It's not just here in University Park, it is traveling throughout the south suburbs, but we are trying to work collectively along with the mayors from the various villages to help to come up with, and the schools I should say, to come up with some solutions, and also working with the judges to, as far as the systemic problems that issues that we've been having, to try to combat some of that. On this part. Thank you.
I would like to thank you for going with me. I told Deputy Chief, I said, you gotta go to this. This is fantastic. And it was a lot. She networked herself today. It was really good. She got the resources, and she will be going as a follow-up to that, because the chiefs all stated that there was judges, and they said their judges should do this and judges should do that. So I talked to one of the judges, Judge Cobb's a very good friend of mine. She stated that there are certain things they can and cannot do. They gave her statistics on a young man that's known in Park Forest. He's a minister to society, and they explained that we both were blown away. He's 12 years old. He was 12 years old when he started, and he's a criminal, and he goes and kills people, goes to jail, he comes back out, his record is clean. They can legally do that. And they're trying to put some things in legislation in place. I know Luca has put in, I think it was House Bill 1 on this type of thing with the children and the juvies. So they're going to be educated even more on this. All the mayors, we got together and started and created a safety committee. And this is going to go around because, as our deputy chief stated, this is not University Park. They have a serious problem in other villages, worse than ours. And they have other things that they formulated. So by us, I told her to come with me that night, that day. And it's incredible what we're going to do collectively, because we cannot do this alone. And now the young man is 15 years old. He just stole a police gun and he just killed someone else. So this is a bad thing going on. And then Prairie's, what's his name here? Grand Prairie Services was at the South Suburban Area Managers meeting, and they talked more into the mental health part, as she was stating. And we're going to do a forum here in University Park and let you know what's going on. We're going to have a round table and let you know just how to save yourself, what to look for, what's not there. And Deputy Chief will be talking about that in this round table. We're going to have we're going to have government, we're going to have Noble here, and some other officers and organizations to let you know just what we're doing. So thank you so much. And we'll be going tomorrow night with the judges.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and the board and audience members.
Madam Mayor, it's kind of fits with the. I just had a question since we're talking about crime and crime abatement in the Village University Park. I was wondering how the crime-free housing ordinance would fit into our plans here. What were your thoughts on that, Madam Mayor?
We had a meeting. What did we do with that? Did you speak to that? It was tabled. You haven't been aware. We missed you. But what we're trying to
Madam Mayor, I would point out that crime tends to still be here. I mean, we just had a long discussion about that. I'll ask what your thoughts were in regards to the crime-free housing ordinance, and when could we expect it back on the agenda since it was tabled at the last board meeting?
Okay. I'm sorry. We talked about it, we tabled it. You weren't here for your input. Excuse me. No, we're not going to do a debate. I'll get with you offside with this since you haven't been here for a few months. And I'll let you know just where we...
Madam Mayor, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I know. Now we're happy to have you back.
Talk about serious problems.
We are talking about that, and
we'll
just, excuse me, or point of order. We'll talk about that offline so we can get it on the agenda, okay? All right, continue with the department heads, please. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Covington, Board of Trustees, and all of those in attendance. I also want to quickly add my thanks to the list for Director Biker. He's been out there with us every step of the way, especially even during the worst of the worst cold weather that I think I've seen in my career in this place at the end of January. We had the unfortunate experience of having to deal with a fire in the village on a morning where it was 52 degrees below zero, and they were out there with us, you know, standing there right where we were to handle that for everybody. And also thanks to all of our homeowners and business owners in the community for doing what you can and what you could during the weather to keep your driveways and your sidewalks free of snow and ice for us. Every little bit helps, you know, in moments like that. And since we have several of our commissioners here, I wanted to acknowledge them for the work that they've been doing for us over the last few months. They've been working hard. We had a couple retirements last year. The commission has been meeting nonstop to find us replacements for those retirements, and I have to say, the two that we've hired so far, A+ candidates. So thank you very much for the work that you've been doing for us. And that's all I have here.
Madam Mayor, Board, Department Heads, audience, we've been making a lot of progress in University Park as well as our financial status. We just approved the 2015 audits in December. 2016 audit draft went out last week. 2017 audit draft is close to being finished and hopefully done in another 2 weeks. We are really making a lot of pace in regards to a lot of different things. We're trying to move into the 21st century. Me and the mayor have been talking about going paperless. She's been talking about going paperless since my first day on the job, September 8th, 2015, about being paperless. And so we are looking at possibly rolling out iPads and tablets with specific software on them, so we won't get 300-page Word packets and everything can be done digitally, including the mayor signing off on ordinances and resolutions. The RFP is out. Bid process is out for the new village hall, and that should be completed by next month. I believe the 20th or the 21st is when the bid opening is. March 20th. So on that date, we'll open up those bids and we'll recommend somebody, and the board approve that person and get started on the new village hall and relocating us. I will tell you, the current village hall is deteriorating quickly. We had huge issues during our cold snap. Also, what I learned during our cold snap that we had in January is a lot of things not being done, such as the buildings and facilities being winterized and various different things like that. Darrell, I think we responded to like at least 4 or 5 pipe breaks in various different village buildings, including buildings in the town center. And we go in and find out that the buildings were never winterized, the power and gas was allowed to be cut off and be not in non-working order. The barn had an issue with some infrastructure-related issues. I tell you, when you get hot or cold weather, you really notice as to your infrastructure and what's going on and what needs to be done. So we do have a plan in place in the spring to kind of make into a lot of these buildings that we have and actually make them safe for our residents as well as for our staff. In saying that, I would like to let the board know that I appreciate their efforts. There's a lot of stuff we have going on over the last 3 or 4 or 5 months. Making a lot of strides and efforts. This board is working together with me in moving the village forward. A lot of initiatives that I have that I want to move forward on behalf of the village, as well as setting policy. We just had the Complete Streets policy that was passed today, which is instrumental in us getting grant funding to hopefully get the metro station remodeled. So, you know, we have been doing a lot of progress, and we ask the residents to still, you know, be patient with us. We are making, you know, strides, not as fast as we want to make them, but we're making them slowly but surely. But I will tell you, the village is in the best condition it's been since September of 2015 now. It's in much better condition. We're not laying off several officers. We're not in a situation where we're getting a lot of violent crime. And actually, I put on the record, somebody posted that we had 8 homicides in the last 2 years. And ironically, We had no homicides at all in 2018. Nobody was murdered in University Park in 2018. But you have people that put information out there because that's how they feel like putting information out there. I suggest that all residents try to be fact finders and know the information for themselves, and that not all information put out is credible information. And that will be the end of my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustees? Oh, I'll start. I'll start at this end.
Ladies first.
No, trustee Oscar Brown.
First, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I realize I have not been here in a while due to the new responsibilities at the job. However, I do plan on serving out the rest of my term very effectively. Madam Mayor, my telephone number is, and for anybody that may want to contact me, my telephone number is 312-785-6717, or you can reach me at 708, I think it's 446-6015. Just in case anybody ever wants to talk to me about any issues that are affecting the Village of University Park, especially crime-free housing, because that is important and it should be placed back on the agenda. So again, my telephone numbers are 312-785-6717 and 708-446-6015. And I want to thank you all very much for attending. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. That's the village number. Right.
That is village number.
There we go. Thank you.
That's my personal cell.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to make one comment.
Yes, sir.
Is that sorrowfully, Trustee Theo Brooks is not here, and I was going to take his time. But now I will feel guilty since he is not here. But I had no comment.
Yes, you do. I have something. Excuse me, trustee, no debate. I want to ask you to do me a favor right now. We had a beautiful finance meeting Wednesday, and you made a statement, and so did all the committee people there about this unqualified audit that was done. Now, would you, everyone was very happy about it. Would you comment, just for the record, just as Village Manager Payne said, a lot of things is miscommunicated. Would you please emphasize about the tips? It was a statement made. Would you repeat the statement?
So there is a statement made that it's against the law to use TIF money to run general operations for the municipality. And the answer to that question is it's not illegal as long as you have a legal opinion, as long as there is a payment plan that matches the same amount of interest as that fund. And actually, that's all funds. Any and all funds that the village operates that the village has checking accounts in. The village can borrow from those funds as long as they reimburse those funds at the interest rate at the time of withdrawal within the same fiscal year. And if it's not done within the same fiscal year, then the government has to find alternative ways to repay that, and that's including drawing a bond just to repay that debt. So it is legal. I have several legal opinions to say that. So anything else that says is false.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. Payne. Since I've been involved with the village, which goes back probably close to 25 years, working with the Finance Committee, we have never had an unqualified audit. Never. So for our 2016 audit, we have for the first time, an unqualified audit. And then shortly afterwards for the 17 audit, we should also have another unqualified audit. So that's just testimony to the work that Manager Pate has done with IRH and other accounting firms and so forth, where we are now able to make that claim. So, and just to piggyback on Manager Pate's comments about the TIF, in the past, we have used TIF money for village purposes. We did not, however, do it properly. It can be used. And so, 3 years ago, what we did is we passed a resolution, an ordinance that allows you, legally you can do that, to borrow money from the TIF, which is smarter than going commercially because the interest rate is lower. And there's a schedule in there to pay it back out of the tax proceeds, the real estate tax proceeds. So he's correct on that. So one of the other important things that we mentioned during that finance committee meeting is that we have a financial advisor who's putting together a long-range plan for us, because there are people that want to jump out here right now and start making cuts. We're to the bone right now. So we have additional revenues that will be coming in. We are pretty close, so we'll have a balanced budget. We still need to use a tax anticipation warrant to help us over the cash flow issues, which you will see any business and a lot of governments. And when I was president of the school board, we also had tax anticipation warrants that we used until we put together a long-range financial plan, and then we were able to eliminate that by building our reserve. So when there's the bills are still coming in and the money's low, you're going to have enough money later on. That's why people use credit cards, isn't it? Right. Exactly. You pay them off later on, and that's exactly, essentially, what a tax anticipation or a TAW is about. So my time is short, but I'm happy where we're going. I wasn't going to take Phil's time, but I did, and I ain't ashamed.
Thank you so much. Trustee McDonald.
Madam Mayor, Board of Trustees, and head of departments, and I would like to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity to be on this board to represent you guys. And I'm happy to say that my partner, Theo Brooks, we campaign on change. And as a member of this board, I'm truly proud of you guys. I'm truly proud because we are affecting change in University Park that hasn't been seen in years. Has not been seen in years. And I'm going to stay positive because the things that you guys have been doing in public works is fascinating. I thank you that I get up in the morning and I drive to the train station, clear, and you guys don't wake me up in the morning, but I hear the shovels outside, outside my house, And the first responders are just absolutely fantastic. Chief Jolios, thank you for attending that fire and dealing with that. Deputy Wilson, I can only give you so many kudos, and I don't have enough to give you. I appreciate you and all that you do for this board and everything for this village, and I appreciate that. And I would like to acknowledge my colleagues next to me because they're about to embark upon not retirement, but
retirement.
Well,
R-E-T-I-R-E.
Don't
get it wrong.
So, you never know what the future holds. So
I know what I propose in mine.
Well, they're going off into the sunset, but I appreciate you sitting next to you during the board meetings, and I gathered a lot of knowledge by sitting next to you guys, and I appreciate your service on the board. I really do, and I appreciate that. And I will always fight off this information that you have here because I appreciate you as mentors in this whole thing. I think combined you two have done quite a bit for this village, and I appreciate that. Is that 12 years for you, Oscar?
It would be 12.
And 8 years for you, Milton, right?
8 years.
Well, anybody that has a building named after them, they must be something, right?
Performing arts.
Performing arts building at the high school.
Oh, shucks.
And I appreciate my commissioners up here for doing such a grand job. I appreciate you guys here. And you got my little buddy up here that I didn't know, right? So thank you very much. I feel very positive about University Park because University Park is growing, and I'm a part of it, and I'm glad. My partner's not here tonight, Mr. Brooks, but we miss him too. All right. Everybody have a nice night.
Thank you. Trustee Wilson?
Good evening. I'd just like to report that there's a open seat on Human Services Special Events Committee, so if anybody's interested, please come to Village Hall and fill out an application. Also, at the last meeting of the whole, I mentioned a couple of scholarship opportunities. Just want to make sure we pass those on to young students. One is by the members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Tau Alpha Zeta chapter. Application deadline is March 15th, 2019. It's for high school and undergraduate college students. The members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, JSAC, they also have a scholarship opportunity. Their deadline is March 13th. I'm not sure, I haven't checked the village website yet, but we were going to post that on the village website.
I posted everything but Delta because I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
But I posted the Zeta.
Okay, so make sure you check the village website. Those are two great opportunities. And they are, the one for Delta is only in 604 and 608 area codes, or zip codes. So that gives our youth a better chance of obtaining those scholarships. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Williams?
Hold on. Sit down.
Clerk Jones?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a couple of reports. The April 2nd consolidated election, early voting has begun at the Will County Clerk's office in Joliet. The county clerk encourages, and so do I, that those who want to can vote by mail, simply by going on that website, which is the willcountyclerk.com. Pull down the application, fill it out, send it back to the Will County Clerk, and they will in turn send you the actual ballot. You return that. The last day to request vote by mail is March 28th. That's the last day that you can vote by mail. Also, you can check their website for early voting sites. Here in Will County currently, they have not been able to give me a list of areas, facilities that will have early voting for the April 2nd consolidating election. I've already spoken with her, and by 2020, we're looking forward to bring early voting back to University Park. But again, I'm going to say, we must ask the residents to be respectful of the privilege of having early voting so that we don't have to go through this lag again without having it here. So we're looking forward to early voting again in 2020. So that's it. It begins in locations on March 18th, but there are none close to us that will be having early voting that early.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So happy to have you here. Thank you. Kudos to everyone. I love the board. I love the people that's working for our village, our departments. They're doing an excellent job. And we appreciate them every chance I get. And I try to send that. And I always have the goodies here Friday. Going back to that, I went to South Bourbon Bureau Managers meeting. It's done every month. I'll ask Ms. Leva Jenkins to put this on our website. I'll save your Illinois Homes Free Mortgage one day only. It's March 30th at South Hollow Community Center. And about there was another statement that I need to clarify that was misquoted. Someone stated, our treasurer came here and said that there was a comprehensive plans are done every year. No, please, let me clear that up. they're done, and I wish Lisa Leslie could have stayed. They're done every 15 to 20 years. Comprehensive plans are done every 15 to 20 years, not every year. Because the fact that these are projects that are done and they take years to get levied or lettings done on them. So we've had these, the I-57 initially was 1996, I think, something like that, but it wasn't done. I got it done. But no one, we got out of the South Suburban Mayor Managers Organization. And once we got out of that, the previous administration did that, we lost, there was money set there for that project. It was $10 million. But because they eliminated themselves from that, they started giving up the money to other villages. So when I got back as mayor, when I got on as mayor, I retrieved that money, which was only $7 million left. We used that to do the construction. We got new engineers to do the construction on I-57 and the third phase on Governor State. So that area. So that, I want to clear that up for everyone. And the comprehensive plan here, this is what we did. Staff, I'll give you that. I sent it to the board electronically. And this is what we call the capital bill. University Park has asked for over, just a second, sorry, the last year on the page, these are other villages as well, $870,000 in one area. For a road project, $70,000. For Ileana and Burnham, our other regional projects, $42,677. This will all be presented to the governor as far as what University Park needs. So let me know, yes, things are changing. Yes, we are at the table. Yes, we are submitting things to make a difference, to make a change in University Park. So with that said, I need to correct things. We need to put things in perspective and put the honest answer to it. I know it's election year and a lot of smearing is going on, but let's be factual. Let's tell the truth. Stop trying to hurt our village. Because that next door is really hurting us. Because do you realize that there are companies, some of our industrial park people look at it, and then you wonder why nobody wants to come here. If you hate your own village, who wants to come here? If you hate it, why should they come? So please, let's be positive. And one gentleman told me from Lansing, he said, you will never see anything out there on Lansing's next door because they want, and look what they're doing. Because they keep their house dirt in the house. They're not spilling it out. You don't have to do that. You're hurting us. You really are hurting us. Because I go to these meetings and it's embarrassing what I hear. Oh my God, you guys got the worst next door ever. Never see such a miserable people. Like, we're not miserable. It's just a group of people. Please don't bank us on that. So that's what we need to stop doing. Put negativity out there. Put positive lessons and beliefs. And I want to send out my condolences to Jerry Hunt on our on our police public works. His mother passed. So condolences to that family. And we will be sending something out. And Lena Rogers, that retired while a family member had passed. And again, all I can say is think when people bring you things. Think about it. Process it. Everything is not, like I said, by the time you start putting on the truth, our lies half round way around the world. So we need to be more positive. And look what we're doing. We've come a long way. Years ago, a few years ago, look what we are with our audits now. When I came here, we hadn't had audits since 2008. We're getting our audits done. We're getting our financial stability there. And we will have a meeting for the trustees with the whole village to let them know once we get those things and show them. No one's trying to hide anything. We're telling you every board meeting what we're doing, how we're doing. That's why we started the COW. And that's the first Tuesday of every month. The committee of the whole. Come here, we give you the packet. You're welcome to ask any questions on anything, have your comments. That's why we're trying to be very transparent with you, to let you know where we're at. And everyone has a right to make a comment. We can take them, we will accept them, and we will work with you. And there's something on the ballot. I think there's a referendum. And I think some people from the education, our schools should be here telling you this. It's worded very, how can I say, illusional. But pay attention to that question. You would read it, you would think to say no. Someone said you should read it and say yes. So read that referendum, because we never get a representative here from the school. Tell us what's going on, what we should do, and what we should do. We need to keep on everything in the village that's going to hurt and help us.
So with that said, I'm going to tell everyone, like I say all the time, I love you, and you can't do anything about it. A motion to adjourn. So move by second by roll call.
Trustee Wood. Aye. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Hayes.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Cummings.
Aye. We will not be going into executive session. Postpone that to next week. Thank you all for coming out. Appreciate you.